Alrighty guys, Connor Todd 1818 here with you today to show you a video that I've been asked to make a couple times, and that is how to dual boot Windows 7 and Windows 8 on your same computer. Now we're going to do this by partitioning the hard drive and running the setup for Windows 8 on a partition that you created. And what you're seeing right now is what would happen when you start up your computer after you partitioned it. And as you can see, you have something that says choose an operating system, Windows 8 and Windows 7. And I am really sorry guys, but I am recording off of a little digital camera, and it will not be like this the whole video. I will record using a screen recording program when I can, but I have to use the camera to show you this part. So I'm going to go through the setup. You probably don't want to see this. I'm just showing you that everything works fine when I'm starting up Windows 7 and Windows 8. And so I guess I'll see you guys on the dashboard. Alrighty guys, as you can see, we're signed into Windows 7 and it is running smoothly. Everything is working perfectly. And once again, I'm so sorry about the introduction recording, and I'm going to have to do it again when I show you how to basically dual boot or how to run the setup, I'm sorry. But on Windows 7, you're just going to need to do a couple things. Now, I will not exactly be able to show you how to do it all because I've done it, and if I did it again, it would screw my computer up. So I'm just going to, well, actually, I don't know if it would screw it up, but I'm going to play it safe. So all you're going to do is you're going to basically create a partition of your hard drive. And for those of you that don't know what a partition is, it's basically telling your hard drive that there's two of it. It's like splitting it almost. So you can split it 50-50, you can split it just 30 gigabytes, which is the minimum that I would recommend, but basically you're splitting it and you're installing Windows 8 operating system on that split part of the hard drive so that you can dual boot both of them. And that sounds a little bit more complicated than it is. I promise you, it's not that hard. So all you're going to want to do is go into Windows, or well, on your internet, you're going to want to search Windows Live. And I'm sorry that my internet's slow. I've been doing a lot on my server recently, so it's going to be slow. Windows Live, right here. I'm just going to click on this, if it will go faster. And at the same time, you're probably going to want to look up this 40 gigabytes in megabytes. I'll have this down in the description, but if you don't trust me, 40 gigabytes is 40,960 megabytes. And so you're just going to kind of remember that, and you're going to create a Microsoft Live, Windows Live, whatever you want to call it. And the reason you're going to do that is because it will make your setup a lot easier for Windows 8, because it will require Windows Live, and sometimes the installation messes up if you don't already have an account. So I would definitely recommend, it's not needed, but I would recommend setting up your Windows Live account before you actually go into the Windows 8 installation. But anyways, as you can see, it's 40 gigabytes. That's all you're going to need from the internet, and you can do one of two things now. You can go in here and search Ease US Partition Master, Manager Master, whatever, Home Edition. You're going to want to get this. It's free to use. And it's basically a partition manager. This would be what it runs, or this will be a way to create the partition, or you can just use the one that's on your computer already. I would just do that by searching partition, create, and format hard disk partitions. And that's what you're going to want. It may take a little while to load once it pops up, but let me remind you that this will be a pretty slow process just because it is such a big setup. It's a new operating system you're installing. It's going to be like anything else. You're just installing it on a partition. But anyways, this will be what you get, or something similar to this. You're going to see Windows 7 and Windows 8. You will not have Windows 8. I've already done it, so that's what you're seeing right there. I have 90 gigabytes running Windows 8 and 200 running Windows 7, mostly because I'm keeping all the old stuff on Windows 7. But This part is probably the most difficult part of the whole installation, but if you listen really carefully, it's not going to be hard at all. So what you're going to want to do is right click on this, and you're going to see an option that says shrink volume. Now it will say, it'll have a little pop up and it'll just load and it'll be spinning for a little while. And then it's going to ask you how many megabytes you want to put in it. Unless you're using partition, this EaseUS Partition Manager, in which case you can just put the direct number of gigabytes you want in it. But just type in 40960 and into that and hit format or continue. And all it's going to do is load, and format, and then you're going to have Windows 7 like this, and you're going to have where my Windows 8 is 40 gigabytes of unallocated space. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is right-click and create a new partition, okay? And what that new partition is going to do is that's going to actually be a new hard drive that you're making. So you first split the hard drive into some unallocated space that's really doing nothing on your computer, and you can move it back really easily, to a working partition, which is like having another hard drive plugged into your computer. So all you're going to do is right click and create new partition, and all you're going to have to do is click through and select a new name. That's all I would change. Just keep everything else and just name it Windows 8. And what you're going to want it to say is what mine says. Windows 8, the drive letter, and then healthy primary partition. If you get something that's saying like smart partition or something, then I would definitely recommend going into EaseUS Partition Manager and running it through there, because there's an option that asks you exactly what type of partition you want, and that's just a lot easier to manage because you'll be able to click primary partition, and that is very important that it is a primary partition, or else your zip drive won't install it on there correctly. So you can just close that out, and a good way to know whether or not it works is just to go into your computer, and there probably will be a pop-up asking you or showing you that there's a new drive, like almost like a zip drive has been plugged in. But as you can see, I've got Windows 7 and Windows 8 on my computer, and I've got a removable disk in here. Now, I plugged this removable disk in purely to show you what it would be like with a removable disk. The only thing that I cannot show you in this video is how to format a zip drive to run like it would be a disk. So basically you're telling the zip drive that to tell the computer that it is actually a CD, an installer CD. And you're going to load an ISO that I will have right here for you guys when it loads up. This Windows 8 Pro Setup ISO right there. You're going to have that, and you're going to want to put that on the zip drive. Now, I can find you a video showing you how, or I can make one if you guys want. I'm just going to need some comments on that because I didn't really want to do that yet. So, basically, I'll leave some links for that file right there. It's a pretty big file. It's about 2 gigabytes, but that's pretty much all you have to download. And so now you're going to go into the part of the actual setup. And I will only be able to show you very small parts of it. But at least I'll be able to show you something. Alrighty guys, unfortunately we're back at my startup screen. And so now comes the, I guess, difficult part. It's not that hard at all. You've gotten on through all the complex stuff. So now it's just going to be paying close attention to what I tell you. And so basically what you're seeing is what's going to be the boot up menu for you from now on. It will always start up like Windows 8 because Windows 8 will probably be your primary hard drive. And so basically that's what you're seeing, and I'm not going to show you how to do it right now. I'm just again showing you that it goes straight to the boot up screen. And so that's pretty much all you need to see. So I'm just going to turn this thing off again. And it should be going off any second now. It's off. And so now I'm going to plug this zip drive in like that, and this will just signify the zip drive that you created that will run, your startup. And so once it turns on, you just want to spam F12. See? And it'll say entering boot menu. and it'll do all of this. This is all good, don't worry. And you're going to see a screen kind of like this. I'm sorry that you can't see it because of the glare. But what you're going to want to go down to is verbatim store and go. That's what I have. But yours can be Cruiser, SanDisk, I don't know what it'll be. That's your zip drive, and you're going to want to hit enter. And what that does is it launches the disk. So basically then the computer thinks that it is running the disk of the ISO that is the Windows 8 setup. Now I know that's a little complex, but just hit enter and you should be golden, okay? Now I'm not going to do that because, like I said, I've already installed this, but I will show you how to install it while I'm logging into my Windows 8, just to show you that it works as well as Windows 7. Anyways, all that's going to happen is that you're going to get a little window that's basically the Windows 8 installation, and you're just going to install Windows 8 normally, sign in, but there's one very, very important thing. It's going to ask you whether you want to do the typical or the custom installation in one of the windows. And you're going to want to hit custom and then select the Windows 8 partition. Now, the reason you do that is because then it installs Windows 8. Now, as you can see, that is the Windows 8 quick startup or whatever that's new to Windows 8, and it is so much faster. It is, I mean, unearthly how fast it is to restart. You'll never want to restart Windows 7 because of Windows 8. But like I was saying, you're just going to want to read the setup very carefully because it is so important that you get that set because typical, and it'll just install on your Windows 7 profile. If you hit custom, you get to select which partition you want it on. So once again, be very careful, and now I'll show you all the features of a partition hard drive on a desktop recorder. Alrighty guys, we are back on a high definition recording program. Again, sorry about the camera, I cannot apologize enough, but at least it will get to show you exactly what happens. And if you guys could subscribe and stuff, maybe I could buy some nicer equipment. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty, but it would help out in the videos, so it would kind of be helping you out too. But what you're seeing is the Windows 8 start screen. You've probably seen it in any other videos that I've made on Windows 8. But I'm just going to show you some of the benefits of partitioning your hard drive. So as you can see, I'm opening up my libraries thing here. I guess it's a shortcut on the start menu. But when I go to computer, I have Windows 8 and Windows 7. But something really nice about Windows 8 and Windows 7 and being partitioned is that when I move this over here and hit Windows 7, I can go into my users, I can click on my account, and as you can see, it's right there. I can go to desktop, and as you can see, I've got my Capture One, which is what I just used to record Windows 7, and I can copy this over to the desktop. And so I got that right there, and then I've also got this AVI file that I can copy to desktop. And so this will then make it able for you to record on Windows 7 and Windows 8 and put them together in one similar place. And as you can see, I'm opening this up. Hopefully it will be able to actually play. It may say it's not supported. Yeah, it's not supported. That's okay. That's just because of something messed up with the video. I don't really know why. That's with everyone else's computer too. So basically you can do some stuff like listening to MIDI or audio is really easy on this thing. As you can see, I'll show you that.
It wasn't easy getting to the top. Born and raised in Carol City, Florida.
If you can tell, this
I went through more than any man should have to growing up in the projects.
But I'm going in here.
Now I'm back for the kids.
I'm not sure if you can still hear me,
struggle.
but you can see it's right there. I'll give you a little entertainment. And so that's pretty much it. Windows 8 is really nice. Windows 7 is really nice, and it is really good to be able to dual boot. I really love that. Thank you guys for requesting this. It shows me that you're watching it and caring, and I hope I can make more videos like this for you in the near future. Goodbye.